Hey, all you super players out there, Ben Lodice, aka 5 Buck Lunch, coming at you with the finale of our 5v5 uh, Goku Strength of Legends mirror match. Once again, I am playing Android 5 color, and my opponent Mike is playing Universe 7 5 color. So as you can see, I'm going to monocolor down to I have my two hard colors to get, which is red and yellow. Plus I have a Strength of Legends already, so I'm already pretty set for my turn 4 play. I don't have to go searching around for stuff. So I'm going to start off by charging a blue. And I think I reconsider this and actually charge a red if I remember correctly, because I want to be able to play my one drop this turn. It's kind of an interesting spot because I could either charge the red and lose a negate and draw a card this turn, but that doesn't really put me in a position to do much. So I decided to keep the blue and just not play my Frieza and hope that I could get the Frieza to drop and get my full value off my 17 negate, or just charge the Frieza and have a negate open. Since in this matchup negates are so important, you really got to be able to stop your opponent's Strength of Legends cards. So we decided to keep the negate. My opponent's going to play Goku and look at the top three. Pretty standard play for him. My turn, I'm going to draw a Create Android, which is the first green card. So interesting, I decided to charge the red and go with a Frieza. This is because I want to awaken my leader as fast as possible. So I'm going to attack with my leader. And pass my turn. Now I'm hoping that he can attack into me and I can use my Android 13 to, or not 13, 14? I always forget what Android that is. The one with the afro. My afro Android to come in play and take 2 life so I can awaken right away, and it allows me to stand up in energy as well. He chooses to play as Piccolo. So that Piccolo allows him to search any Gohan 3 or lower from his deck, or Gohan Adolescence 3 or lower, and so he can use it to grab missing colors. Since he plays multiple colors of different Gohans, he chooses to grab the green one. That green one's also nice because when it comes in play, it kills a 4 or lower, so you can use it to kill things like my Android 18. Now, as you can see, he's not attacking, so he's stopping me from awakening, which is annoying, because without that, I can't draw cards on my attack, so it keeps my hand low. I definitely just cheated there. I drew a card when I attacked. Wasn't supposed to do that, but I'm going to attack and play the Android to take 2 life, which will allow me to awaken. But more importantly, he will allow me to... it doesn't allow me to untap on my turn, which is kind of unfortunate, but it will still get me to awakening, which is what I really need. Well, I definitely drew that card when I wasn't supposed to. I'm a big fat cheater. It is always interesting going back and seeing little misplays that you just don't think about when when you're playing. Like I knew I was going to be drawing Awakening there, so it was very I drew on accident. So yeah, we'll play an 18, draw 2, and attack. And you see, I drew 2 super combos, which is really good. Having my super combos allows me to cycle out my 10Ks and just gives me way more combo power than the Universe 7 deck can provide with the same number of cards. So he's going to attack my leader. Actually, no, sorry, he's going to clear my Afro Android. Just get it off the board. He's going to drop a Goku and look at the top 3 again. He's just trying to filter through his deck, get the pieces that he needs. He's going to grab another Goku. Pretty standard play. One quick reminder for those of you that haven't watched the video in a while, Frieza does have Warrior of Universe 7, so that's why he's able to do things like tap a green energy for his blue Goku. All of his Universe 7 cards don't have specific costs. So that's my turn. And now I'm on turn 4, so I can play a Strength of Legends cards, as long as I charge a yellow, which I do. So I attack just to see what I get. Now the annoying thing is, in order to play my Goku, I have to have one of each color, monocolor in the drop as well, which I didn't have at the time. So I'm going to lose 3 cards here from my hand so I can make my big play this turn. And in hindsight, that was probably kind of a mistake. The Vegeta doesn't actually need the cards in your drop to come into play. He just needs the 4 different energy. So I probably should have just played Vegeta and saved Goku. But I think it's a little interesting because by playing Goku this turn, I force him to have multiple things to stop, which can be kind of annoying. And I don't get a lot of value out of the Vegeta's destruction here. I just kind of clear a 5k combo. So there is a thing to say here where we don't combo there and we just don't play, and we just play the Vegeta. So as you can see, he's got some negates for my attacks here, but at the same time, I get to draw cards, which is very important and basically mitigates the cards I discarded. So here comes some negates. We attack with the Android 18. And he's going to combo off most of his board to stop that damage. And so as you can see, we're still kind of working on the these decks while we were playing. And I definitely made a mistake here. Since I didn't drop the Goku, there wasn't actually a reason for me to put those cards in the drop since the Vegeta doesn't need them. It is kind of interesting that they have like different mechanics, even though they're like kind of paired as similar cards. Also, I probably should have put the Goku in play there and had an extra attack. Since his life's already at 4 and he can awaken, there's no real reason not for me to drop the Goku, since you can drop both of them in one turn. He wouldn't get his double strike critical duel, but I think it was still better to play to put him on the board just to threaten with more attackers. Now, as you can see, he's going to attack with his leader, and interestingly, he didn't actually have to combo there. He forgot that since I'm at 6 life, my leader is still at 10k technically. Now he's basically considering whether it's worth more to play Goku or to just drop the Vegeta. So he swings Goku. I think he's swinging at my Vegeta here, if I remember correctly. And he puts an extra 10k in it just to be sure, so it's 45 against my 30, 50 against my 30. And I decided that it's not worth it. I'm just going to let the Vegeta go. I could have comboed to save it, but it would require me to burn my super combos, and I really want to save those. Especially since after this attack, he's going at my leader with double criticals, at the very least, with the Goku, and I really want to be able to defend myself, which I really need those super combos for since I'm tapped out. In theory, I could Shocking Death Ball negate one of the attacks, but the other attack, like, if I didn't have the super combos, would probably just go through and hit me for double critical, and it would put me at 2 life too, which is really dangerous for playing against these decks. But instead of standing up the Goku, he's going to drop the Vegeta as well. This clears out my Android. And then he awakens his leader, untaps 2 energy. So he's sitting at a pretty decent spot here. He's got 2 energy untapped, and he gets to have both of his Strength of Legend in the field, which is very strong. So he's going to swing in the Vegeta. After some thought, I'm just going to take the 2 damage off the first attack. So it'll put me at 3. 3 is still pretty safe. Deck doesn't have any triple strikes in it. On his next attack, where he keeps drawing cards, keep in mind he gets to draw a card for every card. And he is going to, I'm going to use my super combos, get rid of some dead cards that I don't need. Mostly the yellow 10Ks that I no longer need. I've got to put those in warp, which is actually very relevant in this deck, so I got to make sure I do it. And combo a couple other pieces I don't need, but see here, I don't actually lose that much, just a couple super combos, which, while it sucks, doesn't affect my hand presence that much. We're sitting at, I'm out at 12 cards to his 11 cards in hand, and he's at 4 life, and I'm at 3 life. Now, if you see, one thing I kept making mistakes on in the last couple games is now I actually get to charge a blue energy on 5, meaning that the 7-drop Android 17 that's in my hand actually gets to come down next turn on 6. However, I can't play the Android 17 4-drop from my hand because I don't have 2 green. One of the changes I'm making to this deck is I'm putting in the green dual color, the Angel Destroyer rare, the energy one, so that on turn 5 you can play a blue-green energy untapped just by warping a blue and a green card from your drop. This will allow you to make plays like having double green negates and playing the Android 17 while still being able to play Android 17 blue card on turn 6. So that's one update I'm 100% making to the deck. Because otherwise, on your turn 5, a lot of times you have really awkward plays. So I decided to put the Goku in play. Unfortunately, I don't have a Vegeta here, or it would make my play a lot easier, but I'm going to make sure to take out his Vegeta. It's really good that he chose not to save that. It's kind of surprising. I think he was expecting a Vegeta afterwards, but I didn't put any combo power into it, so I only needed to drop 10k into it. But I guess he was just really scared of his leader, taking the double critical from the Goku. So I managed to clear his Vegeta, which is very good for me because I didn't really have another good way around it. And it would have been really devastating for him to get to draw another 2 cards with 2 attacks next turn. So that worked out very well for me. So I'm just going to drop 2 and play, tap 2 and play another Android 18 to draw some more cards. And as you can see, I'm still sitting on 3 attacks, or 3 negates in my hand, one of which is going to cost me a life. But I'm even at 3 life, I'm feeling relatively protected. The Ape's a pretty good drop for him, though, because that'll give him another double striker, which is obviously very good for him, given the fact I'm only at 3 life. So it comes down, taps down my Frieza, which kind of sucks. It loses 5k combo for me. And I pass because I want to keep up. I could play another Android 18 and draw 2 cards and get more aggro, but especially since he dropped an Ape there and has another double striker, I really want to keep all 3 of my negates available. Also, I don't have any blue energy, I just looked, so there's no way that I would ever play the Android there. In theory, I could have used the green energy, or the yellow energy to play something, but I didn't have any yellow cards in hand, so there's no real reason to play that. And once again, one change Mike said he would make is he would probably take those apes out because they got stuck in his hand a lot, he said, and he never really had a lot of free energy to play them with. The deck's pretty energy hungry, so you really don't have a lot of extra spots where you just have 2 energy open like that. The only reason he had it is because he awakened that turn, and because he didn't have any negates he wanted to play. So it's kind of like 2 things had to line up for him even to play the ape. And now he's kind of considering his options. He obviously wants to get rid of the Goku at some point, but he has to be scared of another Strength of Legend coming down next turn as well. I mean, I'm up 2 cards now on him in my hand, which is obviously a pretty good situation for me. And if you look, every card in my hand, aside from the the negate, which I can play for free, is comboable. So it's going to be pretty hard for him to actually get over the top of me. So he swings out at my leader. The reason he's going at my leader is since I'm at 3 life, if he can push through 1 damage, then his double strikers become lethal. So I'm going to lose a good chunk of my cards here defending against this 1 damage because I want to be able to take a double strike. And now I realize that if I take this 1 damage from his leader attack, which I end up not doing anyways, but so now I'm basically staring down 3 double strike attacks, and he can't, if he uses the Goku effect to give him 2 more attacks, then he has 3 double strikes, which I have 3 negates for, or if he plays a Vegeta, he can't stand up the Goku, so he still has 3 double strike attacks, which I have 3 negates for. So I'm in a spot here where he really shouldn't be able to kill me outside of some weird like side tech inclusion, like a Kaba or like something like that. So he's gonna swing at my leader. And now I can't take any actual double strikes here, or I won't be able to play my negate for free. And so I negate here with my Android 17. So that allows me to look at all my cards and put a Android to the drop. Usually I just use this to filter out the 10k combos that I don't want to draw later. And there we go. Or if you can just use it to drop, to filter your deck so you don't need other things. So there's a Vegeta, comes in play, kills my Goku. So now he's only got 2 double strike attacks left. So I'm going to play a Android 17, which costs 1. And since I have a Frieza in drop, I get to put that in play as well, but its effect is negated for the turn. But now he's basically sitting on 1 double strike, and I have 3 life. It's going to come at me again. Now, obviously, I can't combo over him, but so I'm trying to decide whether it's worth going down to 2 life to negate this, or whether I should go down to 1 life. Because if next turn I don't kill him, then I'm going to need that negate. But if I'm planning on killing him on my next turn, then I want the extra card from the negate and the protection. Because now you can't just drop a 1-drop and combo out. If you look, I've used up most of my hand here. I only have 4 cards to his 10. So if I went down to 1 life and took that damage, he'd be able to play basically any battle card and beat me. But now, since I saved the blue, I can drop my Android 17. Which, for those of you that don't know, normally it costs 7, but since I'm playing 17-18 leader, it goes down to 6. When it comes into play, all cards on both players' hands and all cards in your opponent's, all battle cards in your opponent's drop get shuffled back into their deck. So the fact that he had 7 more cards than me in hand now no longer matters. And he's on 1 energy and all his battle cards are tapped, so he can't combo with those either. The Android 17 also has, as you see, showing now all the cards he had in his hand that he is not going to get to play. Including 3 negates, a super combo, 3 strength of legends, and they're all going back to his deck now. This Android 17 is actually very, very strong, and is probably going to be like the new win condition card. As you can see, I forget to put my hand back. I rectify that in a minute. But the Android also has critical, so I'm going to swing in first on my critical, so that puts him down to 1. And then I swing in with my leader, which now I'm sitting there basically going, well, as long as he doesn't draw a super combo, I should just have game here, because he's only going to have 1 card, and I have multiple attackers, including multiple cards that are 20k or higher, and he's taking a critical on his first life, so he's not getting that card. And then here's where I realize, oh wait, I'm not supposed to have all these cards in my hand. And yep, and now I'm putting them all back in my deck. Boop, boop. And we actually realized after, I'm not supposed to put my drop. Well, this one is just a comedy of errors, isn't it? It wasn't relevant at all, but yeah, I'm not supposed to put my drop back. And I draw, and it's just a 5k, just like I drew before. So it didn't change anything. But so yeah, so now he's at 2 life, and I'm swinging with my Android, which is now 25k, because my leader gives Android 17s and 18s plus 5k, which is also relevant because it gives my little 1-drop Android 17, it pushes up to 9k. And of course, the one card he got off his life was in fact a super combo, which allows him to combo over this 18, which puts me in a very, very awkward position. So he's back to no cards in hand again, but now if he draws a 10k off of his life, I lose. We counted it out. And basically, no matter which way I play it, whether I attack with either or 17 first, with the cards in my hand, if he draws a 10k, or if he draws a negate off of his life, I lose, and the game's over. So I'm going to attack with my android, and since he's at 9k, I can combo 2 cards into him to make it him a 19k, which is enough to deal a damage. So now he's got 1 card in his hand, and I attack. I can go up to 25. And he did not draw a super combo or a negate, so I win the game. Doesn't get much closer than that, to be honest. I've won by basically, what, 10k? Just goes to show how fun and actually relatively evenly matched these decks are. We made a couple misplays in that game, but that just happens and it's easy to see going back on it. But yeah, I will have the deck list coming out probably tomorrow for my side. It's going to have a couple things changed, because there's a couple upgrades that I pretty much know after playing it that I wanted to play. But since the game decks were so fun, I really wanted to share it with you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, support the Patreon, support the channel. Go out there, play some Super, and have some fun.